What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Mr. Hories. Today, we are stepping into a world of darkness, danger, and legend as we take a deep dive into one of the most iconic franchises in gaming history, Castlevania by Konami. Castlevania is not just a game. It's a name that helped define an entire generation of action and adventure titles. With its gothic horror atmosphere, challenging gameplay, and unforgettable music, Castlevania created a legacy that continues to influence modern games even today. This is the series that gave rise to what we now call the Metroidvania genre, a style of game built on exploration, progression, and mastery. From the moment you enter Dracula's cursed castle, the game makes one thing clear: this journey will not be easy. Castlevania doesn't hold your hand. It tests your patience, your timing, and your skill. Every enemy encounter, every jump, and every boss fight demands your full attention. And that's exactly why so many players fell in love with it. In this video, we are going to break down everything that makes Castlevania special, from the gameplay experience and level design to the visuals, atmosphere, sound, music, and overall impact. We'll talk about what the game does incredibly well, where it shows its age, and whether it still deserves a place in today's gaming world. So whether you're a longtime fan returning for nostalgia, or a new player curious about this legendary series, this review will give you a complete look at what Castlevania truly offers. Grab your whip, light your torch, and prepare yourself, because we are entering Dracula's castle. Let's begin. Experience. Playing Castlevania is an experience that feels very different from most modern games. From the moment you enter Dracula's castle, the game makes it clear that this journey will be slow, careful, and demanding. You are not meant to rush through levels. Every step forward feels earned, and every mistake reminds you to stay focused. The controls feel deliberate and weighty. Jumping requires commitment, and attacks must be timed properly. This design forces you to think before acting, turning even simple enemy encounters into tense moments. Early on, the game can feel unforgiving, especially for new players, but as you spend more time with it, the mechanics begin to make sense, and the challenge becomes part of the fun. Exploring the castle is where Castlevania truly shines. The environment feels mysterious and dangerous, filled with hidden paths, secrets, and unexpected enemies. Progress is not always straightforward, and players are encouraged to learn the layout of the castle, remember locked areas, and return later with new abilities. This sense of discovery makes the world feel alive and rewarding to explore. Combat becomes more satisfying as you gain confidence. Learning enemy patterns, managing sub-weapons, and positioning yourself correctly all play a huge role in survival. When you finally defeat a difficult enemy or clear a challenging section, the feeling of accomplishment is incredibly strong. Castlevania rewards patience and skill more than speed. Boss fights elevate the experience even further. Each boss encounter feels intense and memorable, demanding focus and strategy. These battles often test everything you've learned so far, pushing your timing and decision-making to the limit. Losing a boss fight can be frustrating, but victory feels extremely rewarding. The atmosphere enhances the experience at every moment. Dark hallways, Gothic architecture, and haunting music work together to create constant tension. Even when nothing is happening, the game makes you feel like danger is always nearby. This immersive mood is one of the reasons Castlevania remains so impactful even today. Overall, the experience of playing Castlevania is challenging, immersive, and deeply satisfying. It may not appeal to players looking for fast or easy gameplay, but for those who enjoy mastering mechanics, exploring rich environments, and overcoming tough challenges, Castlevania delivers an unforgettable journey. Summary. Castlevania by Konami is a legendary video game franchise that has left a permanent mark on gaming history. Known for its dark Gothic atmosphere, challenging gameplay, and unforgettable music, Castlevania set the foundation for what later became the Metroidvania genre. The series places players in the role of vampire hunters, most famously the Belmont family, as they explore Dracula's cursed castle filled with deadly enemies, hidden secrets, and powerful bosses. At its core, Castlevania is about precision and patience. Combat is slow, deliberate, and unforgiving, requiring players to carefully time attacks and jumps. Every enemy encounter feels meaningful, and mistakes are often punished harshly. This design may feel difficult or outdated to modern players, but it is also what makes the game so rewarding. Progress in Castlevania feels earned through skill, learning patterns, and mastering the game's mechanics. One of Castlevania's strongest elements is its atmosphere. The Gothic visual style, dark environments, and eerie monster designs create a haunting tone that remains effective even decades after release. Combined with legendary music tracks that range from haunting melodies to intense battle themes, the game fully immerses players in its dark fantasy world. The soundtrack is widely considered one of the best in gaming history and plays a major role in defining the identity of the series. Boss battles are another highlight. Each boss presents a unique challenge, forcing players to adapt and test everything they've learned. These fights are memorable not just because of their difficulty, but because of their dramatic presentation and design. Despite its greatness, Castlevania is not without flaws. The high difficulty can be intimidating, especially for new players. Certain old-school mechanics, such as limited checkpoints and knockback damage, may feel frustrating or unfair by modern standards. However, for fans of classic games, these elements are part of Castlevania's charm. In conclusion, Castlevania is a timeless franchise that continues to influence modern games. It may not appeal to everyone, but for players who enjoy challenge, exploration, and atmospheric storytelling, Castlevania remains a must-play experience. It stands as a powerful example of how strong design, music, and atmosphere can create a game that lasts across generations. Positives point: one of the biggest strengths of Castlevania is its timeless gameplay design. The game focuses on precision, timing, and skill rather than speed or button mashing. Every jump, attack, and movement feels meaningful, making the gameplay deeply rewarding for players who enjoy mastering mechanics. Another major positive is the level design. Dracula's castle is carefully structured, filled with secrets, shortcuts, and interconnected areas. Exploration feels natural and satisfying, encouraging players to return to earlier locations with new abilities. This design creates a strong sense of progression and discovery. The boss battles are another highlight. Each boss is unique, with different attack patterns and behaviors that require observation and strategy. These fights test the player's patience and skill, making victories feel memorable and earned. Castlevania's music and sound design are legendary. The Gothic soundtrack perfectly matches the dark atmosphere and remains iconic even today. Each track enhances tension, emotion, and immersion, turning every area into a memorable experience. The visual style is also a strong point. The Gothic art direction, monster designs, and castle environments create a dark and haunting world. Even older Castlevania games feature pixel art that still looks stylish and atmospheric. Finally, Castlevania's influence on gaming cannot be ignored. The series helped create an entire genre and continues to inspire modern action-adventure games. Playing Castlevania feels like experiencing an important piece of gaming history. Negatives: despite its strengths, Castlevania has several drawbacks, especially for modern players. The difficulty level can be overwhelming, particularly for newcomers. Limited checkpoints and harsh punishment for mistakes can lead to frustration. The movement and controls may feel stiff compared to modern games. Jumping has a fixed arc, and once committed, players cannot adjust easily. While this design is intentional, it can feel restrictive for players used to smoother controls. Another downside is the knockback damage system. Getting hit often pushes the player backward, sometimes into pits or hazards. This mechanic can feel unfair and frustrating, especially during challenging platforming sections. Some gameplay systems reflect old-school design choices that may not age well. Grinding for items, repeating sections after failure, and limited saving options can test the player's patience. Lastly, the game offers little guidance. Players are expected to learn through trial and error, which may discourage those who prefer clear instructions or tutorials. Visuals and atmosphere. Castlevania's visuals and atmosphere are some of the strongest elements of the entire franchise. From the moment you step into Dracula's castle, the game surrounds you with a dark, gothic tone that instantly sets the mood. Every area feels dangerous, mysterious, and carefully crafted to make the player feel small inside a cursed world. The castle environments are rich with detail. Tall stone walls, flickering torches, stained glass windows, underground dungeons, clock towers, and eerie libraries all contribute to a sense of place. Each location feels distinct while still maintaining a consistent Gothic identity. Even with older hardware limitations, the developers used clever art direction to create depth and mood. Enemy and monster designs play a huge role in the atmosphere. Classic horror creatures like skeletons, bats, ghosts, demons, and mythical beasts are brought to life with strong visual personality. These enemies don't just exist to attack the player. They help tell the story of the cursed castle and reinforce the feeling that this place is truly evil and ancient. Lighting is used effectively to enhance tension. Dark corridors, shadowy backgrounds, and sudden enemy appearances create constant unease. The contrast between bright effects, such as weapon attacks or magic, and the dark environments makes combat feel impactful and dramatic. Castlevania's pixel art deserves special praise. Despite being created years ago, the art style has aged gracefully. Character animations are expressive, enemy movements are clear, and environmental details remain visually appealing. Instead of chasing realism, Castlevania focuses on style, which helps it remain visually memorable even today. The atmosphere is further strengthened by how the visuals and sound work together. As you explore the castle, haunting music and ambient sounds blend seamlessly with the visuals, making every room feel alive. Sometimes the quiet moments are just as powerful as the action, allowing tension to build naturally. Boss encounters are visually dramatic. Large, intimidating designs and unique attack animations make these battles feel important and cinematic. The scale of bosses compared to the player reinforces the sense of danger and challenge. Overall, Castlevania's visuals and atmosphere create a world that is immersive, haunting, and unforgettable. The Gothic art direction, combined with strong environmental design and mood-setting elements, makes the castle feel like a living nightmare. This powerful atmosphere is one of the main reasons Castlevania continues to stand out as a classic and remains beloved by fans across generations. Sound and music. Castlevania's music is legendary. From Gothic organ themes to intense boss tracks, the soundtrack perfectly matches the dark atmosphere. Sound effects like whip attacks, enemy hits, and environmental sounds add weight to every action. Even today, Castlevania's music is considered some of the best in gaming history. So that wraps up my full review of Castlevania by Konami. This is more than just a game, it's a legendary experience that helped shape gaming as we know it today. From its challenging gameplay and unforgettable atmosphere to its iconic music and Gothic visuals, Castlevania proves why it still holds a special place in gaming history. It's not a perfect game, and it definitely won't be for everyone. The difficulty can be tough, and some old-school mechanics may feel unforgiving. But for players who enjoy challenge, exploration, and mastering skill-based gameplay, Castlevania delivers a deeply rewarding journey. Whether you're revisiting the series for nostalgia or experiencing it for the first time, Castlevania reminds us why classic games still matter. It doesn't hold your hand, it tests your patience, and it respects your effort, and that's something truly special. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future game reviews. Drop a comment below and let me know which Castlevania game is your favorite and why. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, keep gaming, stay legendary, and I'll see you in the next video.